What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day. I have another review for you today. It's the Scuf 4PS controller. Now these are kind of controversial. Some people think it's unfair, some people say no, it's not. So I'm just going to break it down a little bit, tell you something about it, tell some stories that I have about it, and then at the end I'll show you, I went into a private match and I'll show you a little bit of what it can do and the difference it makes. Now what makes the Scuf controller unique is the two paddles on the back. It looks like a normal controller, except for you can see the two paddles kind of protruding from the back, even from the front view. And what it does is it remaps two of the buttons from the front to the back of the controller. So like on mine it's the X and the O button. So I can jump and crouch for first person shooters using the back paddles there. You can see them right there. Now what this does is it allows you to keep aiming and keep your right thumb on the right analog stick while jumping or crouching. So in normal circumstances you would have to remove your right thumb from aiming and press the X button to jump. Well, in this case I can continue aiming and just use my middle finger that's already wrapped around the back of the controller to jump. Now if you have a controller with you right now, you can go ahead and try it. When you take your thumb off the analog stick and jump, it takes a very short amount of time, but it is an advantage when you don't have to do it. So I guess a lot of people ask me, does a Scuf controller make you better? Yes and no. If you're good at the game, if you're already good at the game and you want a slight advantage, and I mean slight because it doesn't take a huge amount of time to go back and forth between aiming and jumping, but there is an advantage. And if you play Call of Duty, you know a lot of those gunfights, the first bullet makes a big difference. So if you can get that first shot on, you're gonna win the gunfight. So yeah, it is an advantage, but it's not gonna automatically make you a great Call of Duty player. So that's the advantage that it gives you. Now the controller I have is a very basic one when it comes to Scuf. You can spend a lot of money on these. This is pretty much as basic as it comes. I have the two paddles, I have the blacked out buttons, and I have Scuf sticks. The analog sticks are the Scuf ones. But there are a ton of customization options. If that's important to you, this might be a cool controller, because you can change color scheme, blacked out buttons, trigger extenders, 4 paddles you can even have instead of just 2. The list goes on and on. You can adjust height, all that stuff. So I'm about to get into the private match, and I'm just going to do this to kind of illustrate what a Scuf does. If you watch closely, you'll notice that I'm jumping and aiming at the same time. I don't have to move my thumb off and stop aiming to jump. So you can see where that could be a pretty big advantage. Now this works for crouching as well. I'll do it a little bit later in the video, but you can also crouch and aim. So if you like drop shotting, if you're getting killed by drop shotters a lot and you're like, how are they doing that? They might have a Scuf controller, and it does make it much easier to drop shot. The last thing I wanted to touch on was customer service, because if you've ordered from them before, like before a year ago, or you've heard stories about their horrible customer service, they were probably true, because I had a terrible experience dealing with them before their transition, and for some reason I don't know what they did, but they did become much better in the last few months. They changed their website, customer service is better, all that. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll be sure to answer them for you. I hope you guys have a great day. If this is your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you later.